Okay, so my name is Oliver Stede, and I'm a financial and insurance broker. And as you heard, I give personal advice to my customers. From now, I have about 500 customers, and it's increasing each year. And for now, I am visiting an academy to get forward, to get some new information. It's always the same in life. We are always at school and we are always learning step by step. And I hope I will give you some informations for today that are about financial and security motivation. My name is Oliver Steder. I'm 45 years old. I'm born in Thuringia in the middle of Germany. And now I live in Göppingen with my wife between Stuttgart and Ulm. We are married. For myself, I say I'm not a broker, I'm a relationship manager, because in my situation, it all depends on contact, and I'm connecting people to the providers. My hobbies are bow shooting, as you saw in the first, and I love to hike and I love to travel. My personal interests are politics, economy, history, religion, and culture. I got an honorary position, as Vera already told. I'm a priest in a church, so next to my business, I'm also serving my congregation. I want to speak with you about the economic cycle. We are all on the left side, we are all customers, and I want to give you some advice. Follow the money. And if you follow the money, ask for benefits. So if you take a look, a lot of my customers, when they first receive contact to me, they are just investing like the consumer on the left. They give money to banks, to insurances, to building societies, and they get back an interest rate. There's one main theme in Europe right now, the inflation, because it will kill the interest and the rate. So the consumers also have to pay taxes to the state, and the state also gives subsidies, and also the economy is able to pay taxes to the state, and sometimes they also get subsidies. But the banks and the insurances and the building societies, they will not take the money and put it just on the bank and leave it there. They will start investing. And if they start investing, they will get back a return in yield. You know? So my opinion is that we should think if we could do it in a direct way. There are possibilities, but the return and yield depends on different risks. So my problem as an advisor is I got all the classes, all the people that who are in different situations. They are the poor class, the middle class, and the rich and elite class. And they have a different mindset. We heard about mindset today, right? The poor and the middle class often do bank saving plans with a big income, with a bad rate. Classic life insurances, they will work for the insurance, but not for the customer. They often use bad credits, consumer loans, for example. They don't have money for good advice, and their mindset is, I want to get rich as soon as possible. So their style of investment is often too aggressive. They want to get it, and they take a lot of risk. My rich and elite class people, they start investing into investment funds, into investing insurances. They are using commodity investments like silver, gold, oil, rare earth, wood, or water. And they use good credits. For example, real estate loans. They will buy a house, they will buy some rooms, they rent. What the rich and elite class is, they have connections and volume to institutional asset classes and private equity. Their mindset is, I want to stay rich. And often their investment style for me is too conservative. Money does not make you happy. Once there was a US comedian who gave a very good advice. Money alone does not make you happy. You should also have stocks, gold, and land. Cool. We should have stocks, gold, and land. There's one main theme I always discuss with my customers. We call it the so-called asset triangle. We all want security, we all want availability, and we want to get return and yield. But you know, this triangle is not correct. You can set a focus on it. For example, left side, you can have security and availability, but you don't get enough return yield. That's often the plan I see what banks and insurances do to my customers before they come into my advice. They say I need security and availability. But for investing, the strategy on the right would be much better. We want security, we want return and yield, but then your investment is not available at all time. That's the best advice I can give to my customers if they are very, very young. Who knows that guy? Nobody? It was Christoph Columbus. He went to America, and I want to use him as an example for risk spreading. I was talking all investment includes risk, but all of our life includes risk. For example, 3 weeks ago, I helped one of my friends and my back hurt. I had to refer my doctor and he gave me a good advice. And thanks God, now 3 weeks later, I can already walk again. I was crying and I had a lot of pain. Let's talk about risk spreading. This Christoph Columbus, he went through America, but his aim was to find a way to India on the west side. So he had 3 ships. The first was the Santa Maria. It was a carrack, a big vessel with a lot of luggage you can get in there, a lot of goods. The Pinta and the Nina, they were smaller ships, caravels. They were very fast and they could move faster than the first ship. So what was his mindset? To use 3 ships. If one ship had a problem, the other both could pick up the people and also the goods who were inside, who were necessary to gain this goal. So if we talk about ships, we can also transform that picture to asset classes. I can show my customer what is his Santa Maria, what is his Pinta, and what is his Nina. If I use different asset classes, I will get a better situation and a lower risk level. Let's go to the next. Assets. We got different asset classes. For example, money market funds. You can invest for 6 months unto 1 year. I have one customer, a lady, she also used this fund for 3 years because she doesn't want any risk at the end. We have bond funds, real estate funds, equity funds, multi-asset funds, private equity funds, and raw material funds. These are just examples. Nowadays, I also use ETF products, who are products who are more for business partners. And in these asset class, you have a low cost rate. So if I give this advice, I will build with my customer his personal asset. And I will also give the advice not by one step. I will follow my customer, and even if there are different market situations, my customers are allowed to call me and to receive a new advice. Let's remember, the Santa Maria was the core investment, and the Pinta and the Nina were the satellite investments to help to build this structure. Now we were talking about investment in a small step, and I can't get all the data inside because we don't have a lot of time. But there's one main theme I also want to talk about, to talk with you. Your own risk is your human labor. We all have to work to get our income. And as a insurance advisor, I also take a look at the situation of my customer, and I will explain there are different situations where you can see a risk in your life and your income. For example, I have one friend, he had an accident and he cannot receive his income anymore. His occupational incapacity, wow, what a bad word, is paying now the amount. And he thanked me and he said, thanks God, we signed this insurance because otherwise I would have a problem right now. because he's divorced, he don't receive any more income, and he's now in the social situation in Germany where when you don't get your income, you have to go to the authorities, and often it takes a long time until they start to give money to those who need it. There's one interesting insurance who was found in South Africa by a doctor, the so-called dread disease, because he recognized that he had a lot of customers, and if they had a heart attack, for example, their house went away because there was a debt on it, and the father had the main income and he had to give the loan back. And if there's no possibility, if you don't have any income, the bank goes ahead and says the house is now on my side, not on yours anymore. We can also get accidents. My friend, the example I had, he also received money from the accidental insurance. The people are getting older, so we have to care. I know in some families they have a lot of children, and the children will take a look for the old people. My grandmother passed away 7 years ago, and my mother also took care for her. And after a heart attack, she lived for 9 years. And also there's the risk of dying. We all have, and our life is not eternal, not on this side. And we also can take care if we die and we have some debt on the bank side, that our family, that our children will get money that's enough to live on, to live forward. What I'm talking about, I don't like problems, I love solutions. So my business is to take a look at the property insurances, B2C, B2B, business to consumer and business to business. So I also give advice to companies. We have biometric risk. I was speaking right now. We got investments where I give advice to my customers to get more money and to also close the gap in the pension situation. Company retirement, pension saving plans. I'm giving advice on health insurances, and for all the people who are interested, I also have a big network because I built up my company 2005. And if you build a company, you get contact to your tax consultant, to some lawyers, and if some customers need support, I can also give advice. What about my costs? I'm a merchant and I live from the money of my customers. So I have two parts of income. In brokerage, so if one of my customers will receive an insurance, I will get a brokerage fee. And now with my next step education with the Finvoice Academy, I also am able to get a service fee from my customer. And so I can also install products who are without any brokerage fees. That's very interesting for the customers who can spend money on my side, because if you have lower costs, then your investment will grow fast. I also have a good advice for our young people right now. I have a really small office. The biggest costs in my company are my car and my IT systems. And when I was younger, I had an advisor from a coach from the US, and he said to me, your best advisor in your life, these are your grandparents. Ask them about their experiences. Ask them very big questions. And when I was young, I was always sitting next to my grandmother, and she had a lot of hard experiences in life. And I was always talking to her, and I was listening what she was saying. And one of my coaches said, do small steps, grow healthy. So don't go ahead and buy a car, buy a house and start your business. No, use very small steps. And after a while, you will say that you grow healthy. When I asked my tax advisor what's the situation of my company, he always said in German, it means stetiges Wachstum. It's that I'm growing all the time and my surname is Stede. So it's really nice that he's always using this idea. Do you have any questions on this stage?
5 minutes Q&A start now.